Hello, growing potatoes in buckets and bags. Which is best? I don't know. This is the first time I've used these fibre bags. I've used these small water buckets a lot over the years, so I know how good they are, but I don't know how good these are. So what we're going to do is, we're going to simply plant a potato in each, let them grow to maturity, harvest the bucket and the bag at the same time and make a comparison. It's only a small test, but it's a test, isn't it? Right, let me show you the potatoes we're going to be using. These are a couple of my fast start potatoes. Why do I call them fast start? Well, because these potatoes have been growing in these yoghurt pots for probably a month. Same variety in both yoghurt pot. It's called celandine. As you can see, this potato in this yoghurt pot has got shoots, and when we turn it out, it's got roots. So it's got roots and it's got shoots. It's a potato plant. So we're going to be planting a potato plant in this bucket. Let me just pop it back in this yoghurt pot for safekeeping for the time being. And we'll have a look at this one. Again, as I've said, this is celandine. Now, you definitely don't need to do this. You definitely don't need to start your potatoes the way I've done here. But I've basically done this because I wanted to get gardening earlier in the year, and the weather was against me. So the majority of the month that the potatoes have been in this yoghurt pot, they've been indoors where it's been warmer, so they've grown. So we now have shoots and we have roots. So it's not a potato anymore, it's a potato plant, and it's a potato plant that's being moved up from a yoghurt pot into a fabric pot. It's a potato plant that's being moved up from a yoghurt pot into a 10-inch water bucket. Then we'll grow them on to maturity. Okay, now then, when we pop these in here, when we do this, that's how far down the bucket they're going to be, that's how far down the bag they're going to be, and that bucket and that bag is going to be topped off. So there is a real danger that we might damage the growth that we've already got. But we've got a cunning plan here at Homegrown Veg, and to show you that I'll need to take you outdoors. Okay, so we'll just pop those two tickets back in there for the time being. I'll go and relocate the camera, then we'll bring these to the barrow in the garden and we'll pot them up. Are you coming with me? Come on then. Still with me? Okay. We'll go with the bucket first. This is some of that mix I made up earlier. We're just about to make our potato growing mix. This year we're going 2 parts garden soil, 2 parts organic material and 2 parts coir. Let's go and get the material, get it in this barrow, get it mixed up, and we'll spark it up with some potato fertiliser, which is a 6-10-10 fertiliser. Let's get the soil first. I've been using this soil now for a number of years, and each year I recycle it by putting it back in the buckets and covering it with a layer of chop and drop seaweed and leaves. So this soil may have in previous years grown potatoes, grown carrots, grown onions, grown leeks, grown celery, grown beetroot. It could have grown any of those crops in previous years, and here we are using it again. So just throw that seaweed and leaf in the bottom there. That will put the soil in the barrow, and we'll throw that down the garden. Two parts soil. This is our potato fertiliser in our recycled traffic lights lollipop plastic jar, and it's a 6-10-10, and we're just going to cut some of this in at every stage of this mix and hopefully get a good mix. And if you want quantities, there only are 3 quantities here at Homegrown Veg. Enough, not enough, and just enough, and this is just enough. Okay, let's give this a quick mix. Right, let's go and get the organic material, and I'll tell you what that is when I get it. This, would you believe it, is an old footpath that I made some years ago with forest bark and wood chip. Now I've just lifted it this year. I've done some alterations in the garden, but rather than throw it out, this forest bark and wood chip has been down about 5 or 6 years. It's really well broken up because as a path it was walked on, and it started to break down really well. So this is going in the mix. So this is forest bark and wood chip. Okay, what have we got here? Seaweed and leaves, our old favourite. Seaweed and leaves. This is overwintered on the top of a raised bed. And I've just pulled some off this morning, and we're going to incorporate that in there like that. Let's put some more of this potato fertiliser in there. And let's give this a good all mix. Hey, I like the look of this already, and we haven't added that coir yet. Would you call this a rustic mix? Well, I am. It's a rustic mix. Man, there's some goodness in there. Hey, there is some goodness in there. You know it, I know it. You can see it, so can I. There is some goodness in there. Right, let's get the coir. Two parts coir. Now there's no need to do this if you don't want, if you think that there's too much work involved here. But if you want to just buy a bag of compost from the store, from the shop, and grow stuff in that. You know, that'll be fine. Particularly potatoes. Potatoes will grow in anything. I mean, I've grew potatoes in forest bark and wood chip, nothing else, and seaweed and leaves, and garden soil. Right. Some more potato fertiliser. And some more coir, and that's it. I'll pick those buckets up later. How's that? Hey, that's looking good. It is looking good. There's a lot of goodness in there. This will grow potatoes. That's simply a cut-off pop bottle. And it fits perfectly over that yogurt pot. So we're going to use this to protect this when we put it in this bucket and we fill the bucket up with the mix. How about that? I'm going to do this. Throw that down there. Turn that over and sit it square in the middle of that bucket on that 2 inches of mix. We're going to cover it with this, and now we can be as rough as we like, because none of this mix is striking that potato plant. No, it isn't, because that pop bottle's protecting it. How about that? Didn't take long, did it? Now the best way I find to get these out is to loosen them a wee bit, turn them a wee bit, and then bring it out, leaving the potato plant sitting in the bottom of that bucket. I'll try and turn it over, but there's every danger that this will collapse in, but it's going to do that anyway. But you might get a shot of that potato plant before that happens. Yeah, you must be able to see that. And then we simply do this. That's it. I could not have been gentler, could I? I could not have been gentler. Right, so that's the bucket done. Let's do the bag. We'll do the bag the same way. Now the reason I do this is because this got me gardening about a month ago, in winter. I was growing potatoes in winter, indoors, in these yogurt pots, and now I've got a potato plant and I'm planting it out because we're in the spring of the year. So that gives this potato plant a fast start, and it gives me a fast start to the gardening year. If you want to have a go at this, it'll give you a fast start to the gardening year. Now if you want to know how this turns out, you'll need to stick with me on it, because it's going to take about 3 months, maybe 4 months before we're harvesting these potatoes, but we'll do the bag and the bucket at the same time, and we'll see if we can see a difference, see if one's better than the other. I'm not too sure that it is. I don't know that it is. I've never done it before. I'm doing it now. Okay, same again. Twist the bottle, ease it out, throw it down the garden, pick it up later. There's the potato plant, look, nestling in there. Now you see me, now you don't. Okay. Growing potatoes in buckets and bags, which is best? We'll find out in 3 or 4 months' time, won't we? This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.